Thank you so very much for the opportunity granted me to be in this meeting. As we have heard, my goal is one day to stop making wheelchairs. But let me tell you very briefly that what we started doing was to respond to the effects of polio. In other words, we were trying to reach out to polio survivors. You know, I had polio, and hundreds of kids in my country, in my state, had polio, and we looked around, and there was nobody doing something for polio survivors. You know, guinea worm eradication, HIV/AIDS, all of the donor agencies were pursuing dual objectives, reaching out to the victims and also pursuing the prevention aspect. And so we were trying to see how we can fill the gap that has been left by the stakeholders involved. And we started reaching out to polio survivors, making wheelchairs, donating to them free of charge, getting them to go to school. But we discovered that it is much more important to prevent than to rehabilitate. And we felt that for me to just keep quiet and concentrate only on reaching out to polio survivors will not yield the desired result. And that is why today I don't want to talk much about what we do for polio survivors, but what can be done to prevent people from getting polio. I'm grateful. Let me start by thanking all that are seated in this hall, all of the stakeholders, the WHO, the UNICEF, Rotary International, for taking the initiative to fight polio from planet Earth. Some of us are not that lucky because we went down with polio. And I've been living with the effects of polio, and I can tell you that there is nothing that you can do to someone who has come down with polio. There is no one-day remedy. You can only remedy the person's all through his life, from provision of a wheelchair to a surgery, whatever he needs is for the rest of his life. But 2 tiny drops of polio vaccine can prevent a child from coming down with polio. And that is why it is very, very important that all stakeholders should consolidate and sustain the effort that has been stepped up over the years so that we can fight polio to a standstill. I want to appeal to the donor agencies not to develop any form of fatigue. We need to keep giving and giving and giving so that the fight will be brought to a standstill. One of my early lessons in primary school as a child was that nearly cannot kill a bird. My teacher would always say, oh, you shoot a bird, and say, oh, I nearly got it. And he said, no, nearly cannot kill a bird. So we are pushed polio to the brink of eradication. And as many speakers have said, we cannot pause here to say, well, we nearly finished the business of polio and we stop. So I want to urge that we stand up. There are lots of obstacles on the way, as has been enumerated by various speakers, political, finance, cultural, and all the other barriers that have stand on the way of polio eradication. My call as a polio survivor is that we should step up and fight to finish the epidemic of polio. It would be wonderful for this fight to finish in our lifetime. It would be wonderful. I would really want to live in a polio-free world. It would be sad for me to only, for this fight to end after I am no longer in this world. And that is why I have dedicated the rest of my life to going around, to telling the story, to discussing with families, groups, and organizations on the necessity to fight polio to a standstill. It is very fortunate for us that in this day and age, we have pushed polio to the brink. About 20 or more years ago, the dream looked very tall. Now we have reduced it to a level that all we need is just to trample on it with our feet and kick it off. So thank you very much, and I wish that we will resolve today to push this fight to the end so that at the end of the day, we will celebrate the defeat of polio in our lifetime. Yesterday at the entrance of this gate, I was shown around, and they said this is a memorial that was raised to symbolize the end of smallpox. And I saw what was raised too for onchocercitis, and I said, okay, where is the site that we will erect for the fighting of polio? And, so I'm looking forward to that, and I wish that this will be done very soon. As a polio survivor, let me also say that if we need 1.5 billion US dollars to fight this scourge, I would appeal that we raise it up a bit so that when we eventually fight polio, whatever is left can go to reaching the needs of polio survivors. Thank you, and peace be with you.